Hey, friends, you missed me, didn't you? I'm back. I am right now in Foremost, Alberta, which is a very picturesque town of about 500 people. And it is a farming community. So there's something odd. Like everybody's been really friendly, but all the guys wear the same outfit. And it's like one of those like plaid work shirts with suspenders. And it doesn't matter how old you are, like you could be 5 or 95, everybody is wearing the same outfit. I don't know. It's kind of everything else is completely the same. The main thing that's different is the outfits. Oh, and also people talk an awful lot about John Deere products out here. Um, I guess it's harvest, or at least it's a time they're doing harvest. I don't know. There's probably more than one. Or they got all these combines out there, and it's pretty amazing the scale of the farming operations out here, and what they put those combines and other pieces of machinery through. Like everything is super dusty, and that's kind of the thing, the kind of situation where you'd think a machine would break. Like it's got like grit in it or whatever, and it's amazing that this thing, all of it holds together. I've got quite a bit of video of some of the farming operations out here, but yeah, it's quite amazing. So, what's been going on? Well, for about a month, I was back in Vancouver, and so that was like the second half of July and the first half of August. Didn't do hardly any exercise at all while I was there, except I went to jujitsu a few times. Man, I am so like not what I used to be. I have to say, like, I guess it happens to everybody, but I am not physically capable of doing the jujitsu the same as I used to be. And it's not just that I'm out of practice. It's like my body doesn't work anymore. Like you're kind of like, okay, I know what to do, and you go to do it, and your body just doesn't react. Okay, so if you watch older boxers, you see this all the time. So if you watch like Mike Tyson in his most recent matches, Evander Holyfield in the last one that he was in, but basically anybody, after a certain point, you can't pull the trigger. So there's this thing that happens where you know what to do. Your body's conditioned to do it. You have all of the muscle memory built up from like decades of doing a thing. But then when it goes to actually do it, your body just won't do it. It just doesn't do it. And yeah, I was feeling that a little bit. Anyway, so I was in Vancouver for about a month, and we started back on the road on August 20th to resume from just a little bit west of Lethbridge, and over the last 9 days, I guess now, well, 8 days, not including today, been moving south and east. We went through Lethbridge, which is a nice little town. It's actually the third biggest town in Alberta, so it's not really a little town, but it's small compared to Toronto or Vancouver. But yeah, it's got some really nice spots in it, and spent a few days there at an Airbnb, which was quite nice. And then went down Highway 4, heading southeast, and then turned east on Highway 61, where been basically walking due east for 5 days now, ending up here where we are now, which is the town of Foremost. A couple things, like, it is remarkable how different the geography is here than BC. So we're like, I don't know, a couple hours drive from the mountains, and it is just flat here. Like everything is completely level. You can see as far as the eye can see in every direction, just fields of Well, I'm not exactly sure what it is. I think one of the crops they grow out here is wheat. I think another one is rye, although I'm not entirely sure. I'm not really a plant guy, but I think there's a lot of rye, and also I think just hay, like the stuff that ends up in hay bales that I think they sell to feed animals with. But this is like as far as the eye can see in every direction, and it has been very hot the last week. Not today. Today it actually rained quite a bit and it cooled down. But it has been in the kind of low 30s the whole way. Very very sunny and very windy. And you probably can't tell because the camera isn't that great, but my right side is darker than my left side, because when you walk east and the sun is over there, the sun is shining on you from the right hand side. So I've got like this massive farmer's tan. Hold on, if you can see this. Do you see that? Look at that. So this is after walking in the sun for like 3 months in BC. This is a week out on the prairies in Alberta. So yeah, my body is like a patchwork quilt of different colors right now. I'm about 17 different colors depending on like what part of my body is. My darkest part is my right back of my calf, which is nearly black. You can really see my Middle Eastern blood coming through. But some of me is like, you know, the part of my back where the backpack covers is like fish white. So I look kind of bizarre, patchwork quilt man. Anyway, so the it's been really good walking conditions, been quite pleasant. Uh, Another thing is like last week I basically didn't listen to my headsets at all, so no podcasts, no music. Partly because it is so quiet out here. Oh my god, it's such a relief. Like walking on the highway and Highway 3 in BC, constant massive car noise, like you're in like next to a jet engine like all day long. Out here cars come by like once every 5 minutes, if that, and so everything is really quiet, and it's been just nice to just listen to the wind and the the bugs. There's lots of bugs. um so mostly the bugs, in the last bit there's been three types. There's these white little moths that seem to like the flowers on the side of the road. There's these dragonfly things that I don't exactly know what species they are, but they've got four wings. They're kind of brown, and they're very stubby. So like the length of their body is like about the same as the width of their wings. So they don't look like those, like, you know, dragonflies with the long thin body. They've got these stubby thick body, and they're short. But there's like millions of them. And locusts or grasshoppers or whatever, you know, those like little beastie things that are on the, you know, they look like grasshoppers. I don't exactly know what they are, but maybe we'll just call them grasshoppers, locusts, whatever. They're those three things. There's like a gazillion of them. And I think that the dragonflies were eating all the bad bugs, because when I was walking for the first, say, 4 days, I got the odd mosquito or like biting fly buzzing around my head. But the experience I'd have is I would hear it and then I wouldn't hear it. And that happened over and over and over again. And I think the dragonflies were eating the bugs like as I walked. The last day, like yesterday, it rained and there were no dragonflies at all. I don't know what happened to them, but they were just gone. And I got eaten alive by mosquitoes on the last day into to the city, even though I was drenched in bug spray. Like it did nothing. They just like ate right through it. It was pretty remarkable. I think I'm going to need to get that like stuff that we used to use when I was a kid. You know, the stuff that you get cancer when you look at the bottle. I think it was called Muscal. Muscal, yeah. It's like 120% DEET or whatever, you know, and it melts your clothing to your body. I think I'm going to need to get that because, yeah, the bugs were unfortunate yesterday, and I still itch now. Like I think I've got phantom itching, back of my legs especially. Oh my god. I hate mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are my mortal enemy. If I could, I have this fantasy that every single mosquito on the entire planet, if I could like press a button and have every mosquito on the planet at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, I would do it in a microsecond. Like you couldn't time how fast it would take me to push that button. I hate them. There's just nothing good about them. They're like evil incarnate. Yeah, I don't like mosquitoes. Anywho, so yeah, what else? So I when we were in Lethbridge and kind of along the way, we met a few people. By the way, people out here are super friendly. I've had like more conversations with people out here than I think during the whole time in BC. Uh, Several people said that there are a lot of rattlesnakes around here, and you have to be careful. And I was kind of like, I put it in like a, I kind of shelved it in my memory because people say a lot of bullshit, and you never know what's true and what isn't. But partly the reason I wasn't having my earphones in is I wanted to just make sure that if I would hear something if there was a thing to be heard. So day before yesterday, I was walking along and poof, right there, nearly under my foot was a rattlesnake. Its rattle going nuts, and it was so the way that I've been walking is like I'm walking mostly on the side of the road, and there's the pavement part, which is a little bit hard on your body when you go for a long ways. So what I tend to do is I'll walk there for a bit, and then I'll go over onto the kind of the side where there's some gravel or dirt or sometimes short grass, and walk there for a bit just to kind of like take the constant pounding to like bring it down a bit. It sounds like it wouldn't do anything, but it actually does help, I find. So I was doing that kind of back and forth, and my mind was wandering as it does because you're out there for like several hours, and then the snake was there. And what was weird about it, in thinking about it after the fact, is I think my body knew it was there before my brain did, because I was trying to like parse the sequence of events. I jumped from the side of the road where I was walking, which was like along the kind of dirt side, back into the road. Then I registered that there was a rattle, like I heard it. Then I saw the snake. And I think my body kind of knew to get out of the way before I did, because if I'd taken like literally 2 more steps on the path I was going, I would have stepped right on it. Like it was right in that kind of like liminal region between the highway and the grass. And they're really well camouflaged. Like if they don't move and you're not paying attention, they look the exact same as the gravel. Like they've got kind of a coloration on them that really blends into the terrain out here. Obviously, it's some evolutionary thing is that they're very well camouflaged, so you don't see them unless you're looking. And it's hard to concentrate on where you're looking all the time. So anyway, I jumped into the road, and then the snake was like reared up, like it was on its kind of that kind of cobra rearing pose, where it was reared up all the way, and kind of its head was kind of came back like that kind of striking pose, and its rattle was just going crazy. And I was far enough away at that point that that it couldn't have bit me if it tried. So I pulled out my phone and I started recording. Okay, well, we got one. I nearly stepped on him. Heard the rattle. So we know we need to be careful. Hey, buddy. All right. Well, that's a little bit of a wake-up call. And it then kind of slunk backwards into the grass. But yeah, so there definitely are rattlesnakes out here, or at least one. I saw them. And I subsequently did some research about rattlesnake bites, and the anti venom is very expensive, and sometimes you need several vials of this stuff to do the trick. And there's something like $100,000 per hospital visit. So if you get bit by a rattlesnake, it costs on the order of $100,000, depending on like how bad it is and how young you are and your health and all that, to get the proper treatment. And partly the reason for the expense of the venom is that you have to actually milk live rattlesnakes to get venom to make anti-venom, which is kind of weird. Like you would have thought biotech or something would have come up with a way that was a little less Stone Age than milking snakes. But I guess it's kind of a niche thing. I guess not a lot of people actually get bitten by them, which is kind of surprising, because if they really are out here in numbers, there's lots of people out here working in the fields and generally being outside, and you'd think that there would be more bites, but I don't know. By the way, something that gave me quite a bit of good feels was I was walking along, and it was one of these really hot days, and you have to understand that this is like wide open prairie, like there's nobody anywhere near you. And but every once in a while there's like a farmhouse, like maybe once every kilometer or something. There's a farmhouse, and so I walked by one of them, and I was just kind of minding my own business walking. I heard this like buzz noise behind me, and I turned around, and there's this kid coming out on a quad bike, probably like 14 or 15. And by the way, everyone out here looks so healthy. I don't know what it is, but like everybody here looks like they work outside all day. And oh my God, there's a difference. Like all the kids out here are all like, they look like something out of a magazine, just, robust and strong and fit. And there's definitely something to be said for young people being outside a lot. And you can tell. Anyway, this kid comes up on this quad bike. Another aside, kids drive here. Like I didn't know that, but I took this one video because I was videoing this like sun like a solar farm, and there was like a truck driving by, and there's like this 10-year-old kid driving the truck. It just happened to get the video of it. Anyway, so this kid comes out on this quad bike and comes up behind me, doesn't say a word, and he hands me a bottle of water, and it was like ice cold. And I was like, oh, thanks. That's really appreciated. And he's like, well, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm just going for a long walk. And he's like, do you have enough water? And I'm like, well, you never have enough. And I really appreciated it. And so then he just took off and went back. And like, he didn't have to do that. I mean, it was one of those things where the immediate thought I had was the kid had been raised right. Like the going out of your way to help somebody you don't know is, I don't know, it's kind of bad, because it's one of those things that I don't expect anymore. And you'd think that you would, right? You just help somebody if they needed help. But that's certainly not the vibe I get in Vancouver. Like people would just assume step over your corpse than help you out there. And I'm not exaggerating. People literally do step over people's corpses in Vancouver. That's not an exaggeration. Yeah. But yeah, so they gave me some water, and it was ice cold, and it was really good. I downed the whole thing in like one gulp, and was felt pretty good, not only about not being thirsty, but also about the future of people. I suppose if there's a lot of people like that, even if they're all coming from rural environments, which they might be in the future, we'll be okay. Yeah, so it's been pretty good. There hasn't been any weirdness at all. Like a lot of people stop and ask if I'm okay and what I'm doing. Much more than anywhere else on the road so far. Partly it's because there's no traffic on the road, so people can just pull over, even if they're going if they're going with or towards me or away from me. It doesn't really matter. You can just stop. But I think people here are just genuinely curious about what is going on, and because it's not, this is not the kind of place that people just go for a walk, because people actually have, they actually have to work out here. and uh and by the way, it looks like hard work. I was watching those guys running those combines up and down the fields, and that's tough stuff. You can see why they're so fit. Real hard work, hard physical work. Um, yeah. So we did 132 kilometers this last segment, and the next segment, the next kind of outpost we're headed to is a place called Elkwater. And then after that, the Saskatchewan border isn't that far away. I think we'll probably get to the Saskatchewan border in about a week, maybe a little bit more, depending on the weather. I don't want to have to go out if it's really raining hard in this kind of stuff, because it gets really muddy and kind of gross, especially because a lot of the roads that we'll be walking on going forward are not paved. So I want to make sure that the van doesn't get stuck, because that would be a little bit of a problem, because we're not, the next little stretch, I think, may be the least populated part of the entire trek. Managed to find a place that had internet at the next stop. So we should be able to stay in contact, but yeah. But yeah, things are good. Weather's been terrific, except for today. Bugs have been under control, except for yesterday. And yeah, Foremost is a beautiful little town if you're ever in South Alberta. We're staying at a place called the Cedar Villa Inn, which is basic but really nice. It's clean, beds are awesome, quiet, highly recommended. The family that runs it also runs the kind of like pub restaurant thing next door. And yeah, and there's a grocery store like right next to it, which is pretty well stocked, called Back 40. But yeah, it's worth taking a look at. It's tiny, but it's really nice. It's like everybody's got their houses are all well maintained, and the lawns are all manicured perfectly, and I get the sense that there's wealth here. It feels like the people here have quite a bit of wealth, and they're doing quite well. Who knows, but it sure does look that way. Oh yeah, and another thing I should mention, just in terms of like life updates, I submitted my X Prize Quantum Phase 1 thing, and I was pretty happy with it. I actually reread it yesterday, and there's a few like mistakes in it, but whatever. I'm sure they'll catch it, and I don't know what the process is going forward. I think you find out whether you've made the cut like in October or something, but it seems odd that they wouldn't reach out before then, because with stuff like research stuff, there's going to be questions and things, I would guess, but maybe not. So we'll see. In the interim, I've been trying to use up all the time I bought on the D-Wave system, trying to train an agent for playing the game on a buckyball. So buckyball is you can think of it as a graph where the edges are like the edges of the buckyball, and the intersection of the edges are the vertices. And there's in the kind of most common buckyball, there's 60 vertices and 90 edges. So the challenge problem that I built was based on playing the game on the buckyball graph, which there are good reasons and bad reasons, but the bad reason was more important to me. I just thought it was cool. So yeah, I actually had this idea that you could build a physical artifact. Like, think of it like the Lament configuration, the Hellraiser thing. Like, it's a thing that's about the size of a Rubik's Cube that fits in your hand, but it's super cool looking, and it's a buckyball. And the way you play the game is you'd touch the edges that you wanted to change colors of. And you'd pick the colors of the edges just by touching them. And the system would have a wireless connection to a quantum computer. So you were playing against the AI system that I'd trained And the kind of from the marketing perspective, it's like you've got like this quantum entity AI thing in the ball, kind of like the Cenobites from the the Hellraiser series. Your suffering will be legendary even in hell. Um, that's only if you win. So if you actually beat the quantum computer, you know, you end up with a infinity of torment. Maybe I should work on the marketing angle a bit there, but you know, something like that. Anyway, I don't have the chops to actually physically build a thing that sits in your hand that does all of this stuff that I just mentioned. I think it's physically possible, but I'm not that guy. So it might depending on how so if the X Prize thing goes well and they say they like it, then I'll take it to the next level. But if they don't like it, then I'll probably just shelve it. Yeah, good. The song that I picked is one that I never skip. So sometimes when songs comes on, I skip them because I've heard them too much and it kind of gets boring. But this one always kind of puts a pep in my step or something like that. It's a very feel good song. Definitely a one hit wonder. Tried listening to some of the other stuff by this band and no, but this one is a winner. See you guys in about a week, depending on how things go.
I'm on the rocky road, heading down off the mountain slope, and as my steps echo, echo, louder than before. Another day is done. Say goodbye to the setting sun. See what I found. Turn back to the ground, just like before.